Hi, I'm Ben from Elliotts Driving School. We're watching a test video from Grantham here. So it's an actual driving test, and you're going to see it's sped up. It's at 4 times speed, and we're coming out of the test centre straight onto a 60-mile-an-hour road. So at this point, you've just started. Your leg's going to be shaking a bit. Make sure that you don't just go because you think you should, or if you've been waiting a while. It's a 60 road, you are going to be needing a good gap to get out, so only go when you know you're happy. So then you're going down to the roundabout. They're going to be going right at the roundabout, just really dealing with like a fast road. In this bit you'll see he's overtaken by a motorbike and he has a cyclist to deal with. A quick note here, whilst he's just going into town, that I've added a link on the comments section that if you open it in Google Maps, you'll be able to use the Maps feature on your phone, safely of course, to use as a sat nav. You can actually drive this route using that. So have a look below in the details section. So he's coming into housing estate, pulling up the side of the road and getting a brief on doing the emergency stop. So he's going to be asked to carry on. Key thing with the emergency stop, obviously, is getting the car stopped quickly when the examiner asks for it, but also the blind spot checks before you move away. And it's really, really important. In my experience, everyone I've had who's forgotten to do the blind spot checks before they've moved away has failed, particularly the one over your right shoulder. Okay. And he's carrying on, pulling over and doing another hill start. The exception to that fail that I've had is one lady who, just after she'd moved off, went, "No, I forgot to do my blind spot check." She was given a minor fault. Basically the examiner said, "Look, I know you didn't do it, but you demonstrated that you knew you should have done." So then, having wound through the housing estate, now coming into like busier town roads. So just making sure that you're dealing with traffic, keeping the speed sensible. You see the speed down on the bottom right, and along there he's only been doing like 10-15 miles an hour. Along here between 15 and 20, just dealing with the visibility that he's got. You see people, cars, just making sure that obviously you don't want to crawl, but you want to be making sure that you're going at a speed where you can deal with anything pretty simply. At the end of the road, by this multi-storey car park, you're going to see a stop sign. So really important, make sure you actually bring the car to a full stop. Look, he stops, edges forward to look, and then goes. It is so easy to just go up and just crawl to look, and you think, "Oh, yeah, you're doing all right, your observation's good," but you don't physically stop the car, you haven't obeyed the sign, and you've got to be lucky to get away with that on your test. I've had it once, but I think it was a bit of a fluke. So now heading around town, see lots of keep clears, lots of traffic light junctions around in Grantham, and they've had a fairly busy start. Going through lots of tight roads, and now going through sort of the town centre near the shops. So lots of pedestrians, cars moving about quite a lot, dealing with bin men and ladies. So at this point I can't imagine that the examiner's had much of a chat, because he's had a lot to concentrate on. You tend to get sort of general bit of chit chat of what would you normally be doing today, and what you're doing at school or college or work. A little bit to break the ice, but obviously they don't want to be too chatty from the exam. The examiners don't want to be too chatty because they might distract you. So it's quite a hard balance to do, because if they stay quiet too much, you feel really uncomfortable as well. So he's coming along, leaving a good gap to people in front, so he can deal with any parked cars or any other issues. Keep an eye on the keep clear signs like this one, and the yellow boxes. There's a lot of yellow crisscross boxes in Grantham as well. So they're heading back into town. They've gone as far out as possible, and they're going to go. They're now heading back towards the test centre. I've added a link in the description section down underneath the video, and if you use your phone for that link, you'll open up Google Maps if you've got the app installed, and you can use the sat nav basically to take you around this entire route. It will follow the route around. So if you're out practicing with family or friends, you can go and have a wander around and look at the roads yourself. Let's see. I'd like quite a lot of feedback on this actually. This is the first video that I've made of these, and I want to know if they're worthwhile. I think that I could add the odd bit, and it's good to see where they go. Talk about past experiences. I've only done a couple of tests in Grantham, so the area is fairly new to me. Most of my tests will be in Peterborough, and I'll be able to give a lot more feedback on things that have happened in the various areas. You'll have noticed that he hasn't done a manoeuvre yet. We did the emergency stop sooner. They're going to do the forward bay park when they get back into the test centre. The test centre's got, like where you start off, it has like diagonal spaces which they don't test you on. You just go in there at the beginning. There's some spaces here on the right just marked up for driving test use. So you either do forward bay park or reverse bay park in there. Then once that's complete, back round to the front of the test centre. You don't have to reverse back into the diagonals like you do at the beginning when you arrive. They'll just pull you up at the curb, get your handbrake on and car stopped, and do the debrief. And at this point, starting to write out his pass sheet, and I hope the video helps you get yours.